Hey Leo, I have to ask you something. When you want to change the subject in a conversation, what phrase do you reach for first?
Easy. By the way, I use it all the time. By the way, did you see that movie? By the way, have you eaten? By the way, I need to tell you something. It's like my go-to button for switching topics.
I knew you were going to say that. And honestly, you are not alone. Most English learners around the world rely on by the way as their number one tool for changing the subject. And here's the thing, native speakers do use it, but not nearly as often as learners do. And overusing it can actually make you sound a little.
Wait, really? I thought by the way was perfectly natural.
It is natural in the right situations, but imagine you're having coffee with a friend, you're talking about your crazy boss, and then you suddenly say, by the way, I bought new shoes yesterday. It sounds a little random, right? Like you just remembered something and had to say it immediately. There's no connection, and that's the problem. Native speakers have these beautiful, smooth transition phrases that make topic changes feel effortless. And that's exactly what we're going to learn today.
I love this. I've been feeling like my conversations are a little choppy, like I'm jumping from one topic to another without any bridge.
Exactly, you need a bridge. And today we're going to build three bridges, three phrases that will make you sound so much more natural when you change the subject. Ready for the first one?
Hit me.
The first phrase is speaking of. This is probably the most useful transition phrase in all of English conversation, and the reason is simple. It connects what you just talked about to what you're about to talk about. It creates a natural link. So if your friend is talking about their crazy boss and you want to talk about your own boss, you don't say by the way. You say, speaking of crazy bosses, mine just quit without notice.
Oh, I see. So speaking of, keeps the same general topic but shifts the focus to a different angle.
You got it. And here's the magic part. You don't even have to repeat the exact words from the previous conversation. You just need to reference the general idea. Let me give you another example. Imagine you're at a dinner party and someone says, I've been traveling so much for work lately. You can say, speaking of travel, did you hear about those new direct flights to Tokyo? See how smooth that is? You stayed in the same world, travel, but you introduced a new specific point.
That feels so much more connected. Okay, let me try. Let's say someone says, I really need to start exercising more. So I could say, speaking of exercise, have you tried that new yoga studio downtown?
Perfect. That's exactly right. And notice what you did. You acknowledged their topic, and then you gracefully introduced your related topic. No awkward pause, no sudden by the way, just a smooth, natural link.
Okay, I'm already feeling more confident. But what if I want to change the topic completely? Like, what if the conversation is about work and I really want to talk about something totally different?
That's where our second phrase comes in, on a different note. Or you can say on a completely different note for extra emphasis. This is the phrase you use when you want to hit the reset button. You're signaling to the listener, okay, we're done with that topic. Let's start something new.
So this is for when there is zero connection? Like jumping from serious news to weekend plans?
Exactly that. Let me paint a picture for you. You're talking with a coworker about a really stressful project deadline. The conversation is getting heavy. You both feel the tension. And then you say, on a completely different note, are you going to the company picnic this Saturday? Do you hear how that lands? It gives the listener permission to shift emotional gear. It's respectful, it acknowledges the previous topic was serious, and now you're giving them space to move on.
That is so much better than just blurting out by the way. Because by the way in that situation would feel, I don't know, like you didn't care about what they were saying.
Exactly. By the way can sometimes sound dismissive, like, oh, I wasn't really listening. I just remembered this thing I wanted to say. But on a different note is a gentle signal. It shows you're aware of the conversation flow. Now let me tell you about a common mistake I hear from learners. Some people say in a different note instead of on a different note. I hear this especially from Spanish speakers, because in Spanish you might say en otro noa, but in English it's always on a different note, on a lighter note, on a related note.
So it's always on, never in.
Always on. And Chinese speakers sometimes translate directly and say speaking about instead of speaking of. The preposition matters. Speaking of is the fixed expression, not speaking about or speaking on, just of.
Okay, I'm writing these down. Speaking of, for connected topics, on a different note, for completely new topics.
And now, the third phrase. This one is my personal favorite because it feels the most natural. It makes you sound like a real, authentic English speaker. The phrase is that reminds me.
Ah, I've heard native speakers say this, but I've never been sure when to use it correctly.
Here's the situation. That reminds me is for when something in the current conversation triggers a memory. It's the most personal and casual of the three phrases. So imagine your friend says, I finally finished reading that book you recommended, and you say, that reminds me, I need to return a book to the library. Can you remind me later? See the logic? Your friend's mention of a book made you think of your library book. It's a memory trigger.
So it's like a mental ping. Like, oh, that thing you just said made me remember this other thing.
Exactly. And here's a pro tip. You can combine that reminds me with speaking of for even more natural flow. Like this, speaking of books, that reminds me, did you ever finish that novel you started last month? See how that works? You're using both phrases together. It's very common in native conversation.
That's advanced level stuff right there. I can't wait to try that.
Now let's talk about how not to use that reminds me. Some learners use it when there is no real memory connection. Like the conversation is about the weather, and they say, that reminds me I need to buy milk. That sounds weird, right? Because the weather has nothing to do with buying milk. In that situation, you should use on a different note instead. On a different note, I need to buy milk.
Oh, so that reminds me is only for when there's a real logical memory connection?
You've got it, and that's the mistake I see most often. Learners use that reminds me randomly as if it's just another version of by the way, but it's not, it's for memories. Something in the conversation literally reminds you of something else.
Okay, let's do a quick practice. I want to see if I can use all three correctly. So someone says to me, I just got back from a trip to Thailand and I want to talk about my own trip. I could say, speaking of Thailand, I went there 2 years ago and it was amazing.
Perfect. Now, what if you want to change the topic completely? Like, the conversation about Thailand is nice, but you want to ask about their job.
On a different note, how is your new job going?
Excellent. And now, what if their mention of Thailand reminds you that you need to book your own flights?
That reminds me, I actually need to book my own flights for next month. Do you have any tips?
You just nailed all three. Leo, that was perfect. And this is exactly how native speakers move through conversations. We use speaking of to stay in the same lane, on a different note to switch lanes completely. And that reminds me when something sparks a memory.
I feel like I just unlocked a new level of English. Honestly, I've been saying, by the way, 20 times a day, and now I realize how limited that is.
And that's the beautiful thing. You don't have to stop using by the way completely. It has its place. Use it when you suddenly remember something mid-conversation. Like, by the way, did I tell you about the party next week? That's fine. But for smooth, natural topic changes, these three phrases are your new best friends.
Okay, give me a real-life challenge. Something I can practice today.
Here's your challenge. Today, every time you want to change the subject, pause before you speak. Ask yourself, am I staying on the same general topic? Use speaking of. Am I starting something completely new? Use on a different note. Did something trigger a memory? Use that reminds me. And if you're not sure which one to use, just don't use by the way. Pause. Think. Choose one of the three.
That's actually doable. I'm going to try this. And listeners, I want you to try it too. Comment below with one sentence using one of these phrases. Maya will give you feedback.
I absolutely will. Because the only way to get better at this is to practice out loud. Say these phrases until they feel natural in your mouth. Speaking of, on a different note, that reminds me. Say them 10 times right now. I'll wait.
I'm saying them right now. Speaking of, on a different note, that reminds me. Okay, they're starting to feel more natural already.
That's the goal. And remember, Language is about connection. These phrases help you connect with people more smoothly. You're not just learning vocabulary, you're learning how to be a better conversationalist.
Today's takeaway. Swap your automatic, by the way, for one of these 3 power phrases. Your conversations will flow better and you'll sound instantly more natural.
Beautifully said. Thanks for being here, everyone. If this helped you, hit that subscribe button. We make new episodes every single day to help you speak like a native. I'm Maya.
And I'm Leo. Keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Take care, everyone. Speaking of the next episode, we have a great one coming tomorrow. You won't want to miss it.
Smooth transition, Maya. Smooth transition.